Hey everyone, welcome to the MatMadik cast channel. So sorry for my last reaction taking these very weird long breaks. I hadn't woken up fully, so it takes a while to get up to speed. Alright, shout out to Stephanie for checking out Door of Adonai. I should have done this a while ago, just again going through my recommended list. I want to get to every request that people send me as much as possible. And yeah, alright, I understand this dude Marvin is a Christian rapper. Well, he's the dude's featuring in the song. Huh. Too bad I don't have the title, the actual name of the artist, who's actually the main artist here. I feel like a moron. Alright, let's just jump in. Whoever that guy is, he looks a lot like Common and a guy I know called Clip Monster. Anyway. And to shout out to the Salty Cracker and his channel. It's a great, excuse me. it's a great thing to see Christian rappers being the more militant at the moment, well, at the moment, these days, in the charts, let's just say, because otherwise we'll be considered goody Will Smiths, if you will, while the other mainstream libtards would just be banging people over the head with their listen to our self-derogatory music and like it or you're not cool. Anyway, the day has come. Patriots reclaim the earth.
I'm feeling heaven's doors open. Lord, I see you pouring out your oil and anointing fresh. Adonai, here I cry, Jesus. Adonai, send your fire. I'm feeling heaven's doors open. Lord, I see you pouring out your oil.
I was wrong. He doesn't look like Common, but that was a great opening. When Christians get popping and they show you what they're packing, people realize, just as I said in the 2 days ago in the reaction to Tyson James Heart of a Soldier song. Just because I'm a Christian don't mean I'm a punk. It's funny that I had to even come up here and we have to come up here and dispel these myths. What you're dealing with is true righteousness versus self-righteousness. Anyway. Oh, I won't deny. Coming from going to church, I mean, I don't really go these days, but I may take my wife, soon, just as she's Japanese. It's something she hasn't grown up experiencing like me. I was in the choir all the time, but when I came to Japan, I decided to not plunge myself right into a community like that straight away, because church has a side of it that can get all over your life, quite frankly, and you want your privacy, but all of a sudden people over the street, it's gossip city sometimes. But that all being said, there's something about the look of Christians sometimes that can turn some people off. I just mentioned that we're talking about the righteous versus the self-righteous. The Christians sometimes can look self-righteous when they do all this. Can't you see how much I'm crying over God? Look at my album front cover. They have this kind of look that they try to give across, like how serious they are. And it's weird because you could find yourself in a congregation with Christians feeling, a big surge of, reverence and love toward God, and then all of a sudden somebody from the side can be looking at you saying, you're putting on a show. You don't really feel God's love and power. Honestly, it's a personal thing. No one else from the outside can determine that. Being truly righteous reveals itself in moments like these. What this song is about is talking about, despite how it may look on the outside, there's a call to action right now that true God-loving patriots are, and not even just people even want to call themselves Christian or not, but just people who understand what it means to love life is all about are being called to respond to. And it's over this so-called vaccine business, or of course, the nonsensical mandates, more mandates than gay nights at the clubs, as what's the man's name, Mr. Pure Thoughts said, Raw Thoughts. But anyway, it's the deep state trying to come after everybody through public schools, through the media, through late night comedy shows, all this stuff, getting people to police each other, to rat on each other over following codes of conduct that are absolutely unjust, for no reason other than to make sure people walk in line, follow a narrative that makes slaves of everyone. When you rise up against that and stand your ground, no matter what face you pull, what you're doing is for all life, not to push away on anyone else, but just to stand your ground for what you believe in, and to stand with anybody who also shares your respect for life. Also, of course, giving people healthy boundaries, unlike fascists and dictators who actually try to push their view on other people in the name of it's for their own good. Then you're really talking about a true Christian in the true sense of the word. All right, sorry for that little breakdown, everyone. Let's just let the song play.
I'm in this valley, Lord. I've been dancing all night, waiting for a door to open up any sky. I got rhythm in my feet, I got fire in my eyes, got a praise on my lips, and your spirit down inside. I got the Holy Ghost, bring the dead back to life. Feel high, no overdose, no longer dead inside. I gotta hold you close, cause in you I feel revived. Yeah, in you I feel alive. Took some shots, but I survived. Heaven's doors open. Lord, I see you pouring out your oil and anointing.
Adonai. That's excellent. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. You know, it makes you want to break out in Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? The song. It's very sorry. I'll explain what that little trilinguality was about later. Anyway, but yeah, well, in another video. But the coolness of this song is something I can't ignore. Yes, he's talking about the call to action I was talking about. But he's just downright cool in talking about it. He's got the dance, and he understands the value of song music, and to actually have a catchy bounce to what you're talking about. It's actually appealing, you know. Anyway, let's keep going.
Heaven's doors open. Lord, I see you pouring out your oil and anointing. Hear the cry, Jesus. Send your fire. That Holy Ghost fire. That Holy Ghost.
I actually don't know how this song charted. Let me know, Stephanie. Or anybody. Sorry, the way I keep stopping, I feel like one of those pirate radio stations that keep talking over the song, but anyway.
Every soldier in the army of the Lord on one accord. Jesus Christ King, Jesus Christ the Lord, and come to bring the peace, but he came to bring the sword.
Whoa. Hold on, son. No. You better not be misrepresenting things.
Jesus Christ the Lord, and come to bring the peace, but he came to bring the sword.
Boy, you wrong. Sorry, I don't mean to insult you. Jesus, blessed are the peacemakers. I'm a peacemaker, man. But yo, and I don't know about Christ swinging a sword, but indeed, you are indeed righteous right now in standing your ground and bringing your. And again, sorry, no disrespect. I'm only just talking. When I say boy, I ain't calling you boy, but I'm saying boy, like boy, like that kind of expression. Anyway, yes, you are definitely righteous in taking up in arms to defend your lives right now because we're under attack. But Let me know what you guys think of that lyric. Correct me if I'm wrong. I understand Christ is a peacemaker. Yes, people talk about the turning over tables. But I think that's as far as he went. Anyways, keep going.
Dripping on me, I feel oily. I got this praise I can't contain, I can't control it. Entering the holies of holies. Oh.
And that's great. The only thing I'm saying is no. You know, this is the part of church that is, to be honest, quite. Don't get me wrong here, because I love, of course, I'm a Christian, but I'm just going to talk my truth anyway. That's quite, people can feel is a bit culty in that when you get this language that sounds like God said it's time to bring a licking. It's like, okay, God speaks to every person individually. That's what being omniscient is all about. And omnipotent, of course. If you feel God saying to you to bring peace indeed, then don't feel compelled to start swinging at people. Now, I'm not saying that I'm telling people to go and do that. And don't take issue with me. I'm just, this is what happens in church. You hear people saying, you misunderstood my word. I'm going to condemn you and rebuke you because you don't agree with my interpretation of scripture. It's a personal thing. This whole thing is a personal thing. And if that language to you indeed is another way of actually talking about peace, actual salvation, then yeah, of course, interpret it that way. But so I'm not discrediting the lyrics. I'm just saying, if we're talking about Christian rap here, well, hey, say what you will, it is rap after all. But just was it spiritual gangster? Yeah, nah, man, we're no gang. You don't need a gang when you're dealing with God. It sounds mad, even though we're MAGA, where we go, when we go, all that stuff. It's very important that you act as a. It's very important that you show little to no ego altogether. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I know it sounds weird. It sounds like it's a backhanded compliment, but if you understand what I'm trying to say, or what you think I'm saying, let me know in the comments, and I'll address what I'm saying, and I'll maybe clean up next time. What I'm trying to say is, nothing wrong with what you're doing there. This song is great. Even saying that line is great. I absolutely understand. I've been to church. I grew up in church, but just beware, people. Anybody, like the Salty Cracker would say, people are saying things like, look what the left have been doing to us, these demonic people. We should stop wreaking havoc ourselves. No, those nutcases want to burn down your country. Of course they want to burn down the shops, and then they say Trump, patriots. Let me say Trump supporters, but hey, patriots want to, despite how synonymous that term is. Anyway, patriots want to burn down their own cities because things aren't going their way. We want to build. We don't burn down. We don't attack. But we can rid ourselves of the troublemakers. And when I say troublemakers, I mean people actually doing actual crime that is absolutely intolerable. That is absolutely calls for self-defense, and even preservation of buildings and so on. Provided we aren't harboring any crime within the building. Of course we're not. But I will happily prove that. But I'm just saying that the rhetoric of not being here to bring peace is, in my opinion, misguided, in that at the very least, peace is the ultimate goal. Anyway, let me know what you think.
I didn't know how to go about it. Now I go to war about it.
good. It's good. It's a good song. And naturally, I'm sorry I keep going on about church and church culture, but this is the thing about church also is let me know if it's not just me, but have you been in church and ever witnessed, at least if not experienced it yourself, somebody's worship being judged as insincere? Now, I don't want to say these people are being insincere or not. It's not my place to say. I imagine they are, but it's the whole idea of dressing in a garb to signify what you are, rather than just dressing how you just honestly feel. Hey, I mean, like I said, they could be considering what they're what they're putting out there with what they're wearing. They just feel like wearing this and so on. But I can't even put my finger on it. It's this whole idea of being holy and sanctified that sometimes betrays one as being self-righteous, even though they are actually what they truly stand for, righteous. So somebody judging somebody else as not being worthy of existing in the same place as them, space as them, just because, but for whatever reason, that just makes me not so crazy about this. But hey, the song is still fire. Anyway, people, sorry about that. That was a weird breakdown. I thought it was the last song that tripped me up, but nah, maybe I haven't caught my speed yet. I caught my stride. Anyway, let's let the song play out.
Heaven's doors open. Lord, I see you pouring out your oil and anointing. Adonai, Adonai, hear I cry, Jesus. Adonai, Adonai, send your fire, that Holy Ghost fire.
It's funny, with all the tattoos on this guy, I mean, I'm pretty sure in church they don't advocate people getting tattoos, but it reminds me of, this guy strikes me as like an Officer Tatum, you know, like he came from the left, he used to be tied up, and I mean, he used to just go straight into getting a lot of tattoos and all that stuff, and then found themselves coming to church later in life. So I wonder, would that be covered up or not? Honestly, it's absolutely fine. Even though I'm not a fan of tattoos, I love this guy for just bearing his all. But again, unfortunately, this kind of thing, it's just my old experience kind of going off in my head about Christianity and, well, no, not Christianity. I'm a Christian, but I'm saying that church and people being judged as righteous or not. Sorry, people, for the ramble. Amen. Oil dripping on me, I feel oily. Alright, now that's a funny line. That's the one funny line. I didn't realize he said it before. I feel oily. Are you serious? No offense, mate, but you need some soul glow. Anyway, this is good. Sorry. I'm only joking. It's a great beat, excellent, and the song is solid, excellent. You know, I gotta say one thing about this, about Christian, you know, the churches and gospel music, and I think, you know, one thing that'll help me to loosen up, and I think a lot of people, is we have to remember that, yes, one's conviction for God is one's convictions for God, and one can feel very impassioned about expressing their relationship and understanding of God through song or any art form or any form of communication they choose. But when it comes to this song, despite how people like to say this is righteous music and so on. It's truly just art. So if I had to see this as simply art, it's a bit like when you watch those gospel, when you watch a gospel movie like Fighting Temptations or something, and at the end of the day, despite what um words they may be saying about God, they're just actors. And it's not to say that um saying things as an act is good or bad with regards to how truly committed are you to God and all that stuff. Which is another cult, which is another tribalistic way of saying how real are you and all that stuff. It could be said about any form of art, hip hop or whatnot. But if you just say it's just art, and this is just an act at the end of the day, because your relationship with God has nothing to do with this at the end of the day, then one could let one's hair down about this. So I'm going to look at the rest of this as simply an artistic piece. Imagine this is patriotic. I shouldn't say Christian rap. Let's just say a patriotic song, but it's just art at the end of the day. And I trust that you have your faith and everything, but I'm not going to hold you to how you express yourself in this art piece. To how you relate to God. That's your own business. Anyway, let's go. That changed everything. That's what I should have done in the first place. I'm sure, sir, Mr. Marcus Rogers. There you go. I'm sure Mr. Marcus Rogers and Marv. I'm sure you the oil. The next song's called The Oil. Anyway, I'm sure you have a great relationship. Well, I'm sure you have a relationship with God that it has nothing to do with anyone else. And I imagine that you're sincere in your relationship with God. But I'm just going to look at these songs from now on as art. It's simply art. If I do that, I can give you a proper, unhampered reaction. But let me know what you think, people. Should we see these songs as simply art songs, or should we see them as like scripture, but in video form, as expressions of holiness? Let me know what you think. Catch you next time.